Hi guys, welcome back to the Mindworks channel, and today in this series of 120-day plan to crack CAT, this series which all of you are receiving pretty well, and I'm quite sure this is helping you. I'm bringing the third part of the series, and in today's session we are doing the session on data interpretation and logical reasoning. A lot of you have been asking me to talk about this, and I thought that I'll bring this as part of my 120-day plan series and also part of the 7-minute explainers on how to, what are the key points you need to remember. And this, obviously the 7-minute explainers are slightly short in nature, but I try to make sure that I give you the major points on this, on what you need to prepare. So that's what we are going to focus on in today's session. And data interpretation, logical reasoning, as you know, this section, most likely CAT is going to be a 2-hour exam given the situation that we have, given the pandemic situation that we have this year. So if you're preparing for a 40-minute exam for data interpretation, logical reasoning, there are going to be 5 sets. If they follow the same pattern as last year, I don't see any reason why they'll deviate from that. So there are going to be 5 sets in the paper. And the pattern, the structure that they used last year was 3 sets of 4 questions each and 2 sets of 6 questions each. And the 6 question sets were slightly more difficult than the 4 question sets. Not always, but at least it was not the easiest. The 6 question sets were definitely not the easiest of the 5, right? So they were somewhere, maybe one 4 question set was tougher than a 6 question set here or there, but generally the 6 question set was tougher because they would want you to do more work to get through the 6 question set. So now how do you prepare for this exam? And the thumb rule, basic thumb rule that you need to understand is that to be able to score a 99 percentile based on last year's difficulty level, you should have solved around maybe 10 to 12 attempts with 1 or 2 wrong. If you could have gone to, that means all the three, 4 question sets, if you had finished, you would be at 99 percentile. Or if you had done 2 of the 4 question sets and 1 6 question set, you would actually then 14 attempts was very good in last year's exam. So this basically, you know, there are 2 things that constrain people and before I come to the slide and what I mean by this, there are 2 things that constrain you when you are preparing for this exam or for when you want to score in the DILR section of this test. And the 2 things that constrain you, one thing that constrains you is the inability to finish a question. So this is what happens to a large majority of people. 80-90% people fall by the waysides because when they start a question and the question starts getting tougher, they are not able to complete the question, especially under the pressure that is there in the exam. So which is why the first point of check when you talk about an audit for your DILR, and before you start defining a preparation plan and a preparation strategy for yourself, the first point is of audit is basically, have you reached that point of belief that I can solve anything in data interpretation and in logical reasoning? And both of these will be different. I mean, you might have reached this point in one and not reached this point in the other, or vice versa. So this is a question you'll ask yourself at this point. Have I reached that point, or am I still my glass half full? That means if this is the bank of questions I'm looking at in data interpretation, I'm able to solve somewhere around 60 to 70%, and I'm not able to solve the last 30 to 40% questions. If you belong to that category right now, and you don't change this category to somebody who can solve, I can solve everything in DI, so this is bound to happen inside the exam. You cannot avoid it, that you'll pick up a question and your belief will start shaking when the question starts becoming difficult, and hence you will come across, or you will have the experience that you are trying to avoid in the exam. That worst possible experience is एक सेट में 8 मिनट दे दिया, उसके बाद सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है, तो you have to leave the set and go to the next one. So not only it leaves you poorer in the sense that you have not attempted anything, but when you started off you had 40 minutes, now you have only 32 minutes to solve whatever you need to solve. So the pressure starts intensifying, and if it happens the second time, the paper is basically gone. So you'll have to learn to turn these around specifically. So if you have not reached this point, if you have reached this point in data interpretation or logical reasoning, then it's good, then it's fine. But if you have not reached this point, you have to get to that point. And to get to that point, obviously, I mean, I'll be the first person to tell you that there is a certain amount of, I mean, the crossing over of that point can be defined in learning through what I call as assisted problem solving, and then crossing the belief point is only going to happen when you do a adequate number of self problem solving questions. So ultimately DI ka turnaround or LR ka turnaround will happen at 200 questions of self problem solving, where you can get through all the issues that you are facing. And one more tip for DI. DI में अगर तुमसे question solve नहीं हो रहे, if you are getting stuck in some questions, in both these areas, try to break down the question a little bit. Try to break it down to smaller components of reactions and triggers and which ones you are missing, because if you are not able to solve a question in DI, you will be missing some variables in the question. Data interpretation is about variable recognition. If you can understand the variables well and the relationship between variables and the given variables as well as the hidden variables, if you have control on them, then your DI will sort itself out. While in LR, it's about clue usage and the clarity of the pictures you draw. So if you are not able to use a clue in an LR question, you will not be able to solve that question. So this is you ultimately have to get through this thing. Maybe you take a little bit of assisted problem solving. We'll also be coming up with some videos on how to get through tough questions in DI and LR. But you will need some assisted problem solving where somebody shows you how to cross those hurdles when you reach them. And mostly the hurdles are, in LR it's multiple possibility situations, in DI it's about missing data, multiple possibility situations, and a third framework which I call as cross-reference data. This is what it's mostly built upon. And if you have reached that point, or once you reach that point, the focus has to move to speed. कि चलो मेरे से अब हो जाता है क्वेश्चंस, इस पॉइंट पे जब पहुंच जाते हैं, और ऐसा नहीं होगा कि 60 से 100 पहुंच जाएगा, पहले 60% से 80% पहुंचेगा, 80 से 90 जाएगा, 95 भी पहुंच जाएगा, तो दैट्स ऑल्सो गुड इनफ. यू आर मच बेटर पोजिशन दैन यू आर एट व्हेन यू आर एट 60% क्वेश्चंस. आई कैन सॉल्व एंड 40% आई कांट सॉल्व. 95 इज ऑल्सो ओके. Then only the outlying questions, that really tough question, मेरे को दिक्कत हो रहा है तो बहुत लोग को होगा. इस तरह का situation में जब पहुंच जाओगे, तो then you can say that okay, my first point of call or my first point of self development has happened. And then after that, the whole focus shifts to, once you reach that point, the whole focus shifts to increasing efficiencies. And when you're trying to increase efficiencies, you basically have to focus in LR and DI more efficient, reducing your readings, trying to solve question in one reading. And the source of efficiency in DI and LR both is to write more efficiently. Writing efficiency improve करोगे और reading एक बार करोगे तो तुम्हारा speed of solving automatically fast होगा. And of course in DI you have two more methods through which you can go up in speed. One is the calculations and the second is your special tricks and techniques to solve some specific situations that some DI questions might throw. But broadly, the top three are the more important speed sources in both data interpretation and logical reasoning. Of course, LR में calculation angle नहीं रहेगा, but the top two are the most important parts. Tricks and techniques are slightly far off fourth in terms of how much it gives you for in terms of his speed and efficiencies. So just a reminder, tomorrow, that's on Sunday, 18th July, I'm doing this strategy and analysis session of mock tests. How should you analyze mock tests and how should you strategize your mock taking strategy? What should you do inside the test? What should you do after the test? How should you analyze? The session is from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, 18th July. The link will come in, for the registration link will be provided in the comments or in the description of this video, and I'll see you there. And I hope you're liking this series. Please do subscribe and do spread the word around. We are very hungry for subscribers and more views. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.